Theo Scott was my friend and a coworker. She was somebody who would walk the extra mile with anybody. And today we want to come together and celebrate, just to recognize a loss, but also just to really celebrate her life, which is so worth celebrating. I've written a tribute to Theo that I wanted to read today. Theo stored up treasures in heaven where nothing can be taken away from her. She gave away to all around her in such a way that she now has an eternal legacy. She lived the motto, love wins, every day. Her brilliant heart and her brilliant mind cannot be extinguished. And all of us who've been affected by her life, she remains a part of us. One of the better parts, where we live out kindness and selflessness because we've understood that from her heart. She was a role model for kindness. She made us want to say to ourselves, when I grow up, I want to be more like her. There could be no greater tribute to her life than to commit to that, doing kind and selfless acts every day with those that are around us who we happen to meet. She considered it an honor to be in the presence of all people, and she honored each of us with her presence. How many of us here today can say, we are really honored to know such a great person? And she is so great because she was so good. Theo was consistent. She was the same person in public as she was in private. Out and about among us, she looked for every opportunity to care for those around her, and it was her joy to do that. She offered her infectious smile, a hug, empathy in her listening, and a humor that made any situation better. She put herself on a level playing field with everyone around her, so she was approachable and people felt they could tell her their story with no sense of condemnation. Her private life looked no different than her public life. At home, she went to be the primary caregiver to her mom, who she loved so dearly, and her pets, Maggie and Pepper, who she counted among her best friends. Theo was a lover of justice and sought to be fair and right in her interactions with all people. As such, she became an advocate to individuals with disabilities and for people everywhere around her. When it came to creating a sense of what is right on behalf of an individual, Theo would lose track of time, and she would not stop until she gave every consideration to every matter. She would decidedly throw out assumptions so that she could arrive at the right conclusion and take action accordingly. She knew that through presumption can come wrong thinking and doing, so she worked hard to avoid that. She wanted to bring about a sense of what was right and true and fair and good. Again, she became a role model for what is goodness in this life. And again, she was brilliant in heart and mind. Theo lived with the end goal in sight. In Proverbs 19:22, it says, what is desirable in a person is their kindness. Sometimes she would say that she did not fit in. She would say, I'm such a bobo with a half laugh. No, Theo, you are quite brilliant, and fitting in is not always the goal. Kindness was her goal, and that is our example, and there's nothing better we can do with each memory of Theo than to live in such a way that our lives, like hers, will honor that goal. Love really does win. Thank you for bringing healing and health and wholeness to so many through your many kindnesses. I'm sure that the stories shared here today could go on and on. Theo, thank you for being our friend, and you have done so much for so many.